3694. Okay. All right. Sketch the graph. Sketch the graph. So which one is appropriate one? I kind of have it over here. So I just have to select it. I know it's not the middle part that I'm considering. I'm not looking for left. I can eliminate those. So it's either going to be the first one or last one. The number is 105. This is going under 100, so that doesn't look right. So the first curve will be the correct one. Part C. Mensa is an organization whose members have a top 2% of a IQ score. Find the minimum IQ score IQ needed to qualify for the Mensa organization. All right, so I am given top 2%. So graphically, this is what I'm looking at. I am given the right side this time, 0.02. So I'm trying to find that K value. I like to use a K because I don't like having the same variable X and X, right? But you know the K is one of your X value, okay? But let's just put K so we don't get confused with this X and these X. So I'm looking for K value such that from this point and on represent the 2% area value. So I'm looking for a value. So this will be an inverse norm problem, right? But let's begin with the first one. Write the probability statement. Okay. I am given the value already, 0.02. So probability of X greater than, this represent X greater than some K represent 0.02. So 0.02. What is that K value? So that's an inverse norm. Inverse norm. Here's the option, right? If you had the nice calculator where you can set up, right? So I'll write both of them. You can still use 0.02, 0, 100, 15, but you have to select this one as a right, so don't forget. Now, if you have just normal calculator where you don't have option, you have to put the area to the left value. So you have to manually find it, but that's not that difficult. You know the whole area represent 100% one whole. Take away 0.02 will represent 0.98. So you would put 0.98, 100, 15. You're gonna put left, okay? So if you do not have the option of selecting left, center, right, use this one. But I'm gonna show you both of them and you're gonna get the same answer. All right. Here we go. So second bars, inverse norm. Let's start with the left one, the right one. 0.02, 100, 15. Remember 0.02 was a top 2%, so that's a right area. So the tail, you have to select the right, which is already there. And then paste it. We got 131, rounding to the whole number. You can still get the same answer. Second bars, inverse norm, 0.98, 115 left, 131. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one you do. Okay. So the answer will be 131. Sketch the graph. Which one is a correct one? That doesn't. I can eliminate this one and this one already because this one is a shading to the left, right? I want 98% and 0.02, 131. This looks like 131. What about this one? So they look very similar, but which one is a better one? Let's zoom in to see the number more clearly. So this is 131. So 130 should be here, right? Right in the middle. So it looks like this is going below 130. So that's not good. Next one, there's a 130 mark here. So 131 looks reasonable, right? So the last graph looks more like 131 and on. Okay. All right, last question. The middle 40%. This time they give you the middle 40%. So graph it. Let's say this was 100, middle 40%. They want to look for those two x1 and x2. x1 here and then x2 here. What is those two boundary, right? Right here and right here that represent the 40%. Okay. So write the probability statement. The probability between x1 to x2 is the 40%, so 0.40. And let's find those x1 and x2. Now, those of you who have an option left, center, right, this is where it's nice. If you have that button, you're going to get x1 and x2 right away. Now, if you do not have a calculator that has a setting of x1 and then x2 with the center option, then you have to calculate these two separately. So I'm going to show you both. Let me do the one with the option one, okay, the tail option. So which you're going to get both the answer at the same time. So inverse norm. Why inverse norm? Because I'm looking for x value. 0.40 is the probability value given. So that's your area. And then you have 100 for mean and standard deviation of 15. Now the tail that you're going to select is not left right because you're not given left right. You're actually given the middle area, middle. So you're going to put center option. If you do that, it's going to give you both x1 and x2 at the same time. x1 and x2 at the same time, so you don't have to do it twice. x1, x2, by looking at the curve, I should have x1 less than 100, and then x2, I should have bigger than 100, right? So I better have this one less than 100, x2 bigger than 100. So let's check. Inverse norm. 0.40 was given area value, 115. Your tail will be selected to the right. And then paste it, and there. You see the two oops. I think I pressed the right. My mistake. Let me redo it. Let's clear the screen so it doesn't get confused. Second bars, inverse norm, 0.40, 115. The tail is center. And then paste. You see the two value, 92 rounding the whole number, 108. So they give you the both number at the same time, 92 and then 108. Let's put that in. So we had 92 and then 108. So those will be the two number. Now, what if you do not have that option? Then you just have to do this twice, okay? So let me show you. Let's begin with the x1. How do we solve for x1? Then you just have to do it twice. x1 will be inverse norm, area to the left. So here's my x1. Now let's think about this. I'm looking for this area, right? So how much is this area represent? Well, you know that whole thing represents 40%, and you know this is a bell-shaped symmetry. So if you have a 40% as a middle, you know the remaining 60%, but dividing by half both, so you have a 30 here, and then you have a 30. 30 plus 40 plus 30 will equal to 1 whole. So my x1, area to the left of x1 will be 0.30. So you're going to put that. And then you're going to be putting 100. That doesn't change. And 15. And you will get 92. x2. What about x2? Same thing. Inverse norm. Now you're looking at blue part and on. So from here to here. So that means I have to combine this and this because that will represent the whole left. So that will be 0.70. 115. So I should have this one 92. I should have this one 108. So let's check with the calculator. So I pull out this calculator. We have, let me clear it. Second vars, inverse norm. First one was a 0.30, 100, 15. I should have a 92. There, 92. x2 was a 108, right? And then it was the area to the left was 0.70. Oops, not normal CDF. Should be inverse norm. No. Inverse norm, 0.70, 100, 15, 108. Okay, so if you do not have an option, do this as a two separate problem, 2 steps. Okay, the last part is identifying the correct one. I can eliminate the right side one because those represent just one shaded curve, right? One shaded part. So it will be the top or the bottom one. You know the value 92 and 108. 92 and 108 represent the 40 middle part shaded in, right? Because it's given middle, not the tail one. So I'm picking the bottom left side as my final answer. Okay, that's it for chapter 6 notes. Next video, we will be working on chapter 7.